We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. It's the one and only Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, I am super excited. For the past few days, I've been playing around with this. Finally, after a little over a year, we have the new HASLAB Ghostbusters Plasma Series Egon Spengler Proton Pack. And this is, as I said, something that I've been looking forward to for a very long time. Even longer than the year that it's taken for this to come to us. As a 44-year-old man, I grew up loving the Ghostbusters. And I have always wanted my own Proton Pack. And this is truly a dream come true for me. Now, previously, you could buy your own replica of this. It was all essentially handmade and used basically real parts, as the original prop kind of did as well. And over the years, a lot of people have really studied the different parts that went into making the full hero prop that we saw in the films, but those always cost a lot of money, ranging from about $1,000 to $2,000, depending on how detailed you got with it. When we saw the Plasma Series Egon Spengler Neutrona Wand, a lot of people got really excited, thinking that at some point in time, this might be possible. I know I did as well. But reality then set in. It's like, how are they going to do it? Well, along came HASLAB and absolutely made this something that they could potentially do. With an initial backing of only 7,000 people at $400, you could get this. Now, how they did the tier system after that 7,000 initial backer, I do have a few issues with. That 7,000 backer limit only got you the Proton Pack, and that was it. The first tier unlock came by way of being a Hasbro Pulse exclusive membership kind of perk, and that got you these. These are slime attachments that are meant to kind of replicate how this would have looked if it got slimed, for the most part. And what you basically do is you honestly, let me see if I can kind of find them here. So these little bits here, you kind of dangle over there, or no, that's the other way around. So you'll put it like that. And now you can attach it, and I'll show that here in a little bit, but you can basically kind of loop these around different areas and kind of make it look like things are slimed. Basically, that's basically it. Like I said, to get this, you had to back it within the first 24 hours, and you had to be a Hasbro Pulse premium member, which I think was like $50 to do. So, essentially, if you had the money to be able to back this, backing it got you these. These weren't technically a tiered unlock. These, I think, are listed as like a level 0 unlock, and it was just a special perk for premium members. I was a premium member. I backed it in the first 24 hours. I had to get this. Mostly because I wanted the full value out of this. So that came along. That was really cool. The next tier is the one that I think is kind of silly for the most part. So in addition, well, I mean, obviously you get like the instructions and things of that nature, but you had the ability to make this sort of resemble the 1984 Ghostbuster Proton Pack. The problem, though, with that is you really can't, for the most part. So they give you these stickers. These stickers replace the stickers that are on here. This is, after all, designed to look how the Proton Pack looked in Afterlife. This, giving the stickers a more clean look, gives you a little bit more of that 1984 look. The problem, though, is, again, this is the wand that you have with this, which clearly does not look like the 1984 Proton Pack. This is the wand that Matty Collector made many years ago, which is much more 1984 inspired. I really wanted to know if you could utilize that with this. The clip here on the back, you kind of sort of can. It's smaller than this though, so if you had that, you can use that. And if you put these stickers on here, you can kind of make it look, again, a little bit more of that 1984 original Ghostbusters. This is the part that I have a problem with it though. It didn't come with a Neutrona wand, which is not necessarily a bad thing. You had to buy that separately, which was $100 to do, so the whole thing roughly is about $500 when you get it. However, if you already have that, great. That's wonderful. Again, you can come around over here. You can slide this right on there, although it doesn't really slide on there very well, and I'm dropping stuff. It sits on there. The problem, though, is it's not connected to the proton pack. If they got enough backers, I'm sorry, I'm going off screen here for a second. If you got enough backers, then you got this. This hose here is something that you 1000% need to have. And this allows you to connect the Neutrona wand to the proton pack. This should not have been a tiered accessory. This should have automatically have been included. But luckily, it backed it, or it got fully backed, so you were able to do it. All you have to do for this is, I'm trying not to drop things, is now you have the Neutrona wand, you have the proton pack. You take this section right here, come around to the side, and I'm going to try doing this here on camera. It might take a second to do, but you put that in there like so, and then you tighten the little attachment piece right here. You don't have to tighten it super tight, just get it snug on there that you can kind of feel a little bit of tightening on it, but you don't want to over tighten it. And then you take the Neutrona wand, and this is one thing I was kind of disappointed with. I mean, obviously this was Matty Collector, so this was done by Mattel. This was done by Hasbro. They're different. Now, this one I really hoped that you could somehow attach this, but the battery compartment doesn't really work in here, so you can't remove the batteries and attach this section to that. So I was really kind of disappointed that I wouldn't be able to use this, but I'll be able to kind of display this on that original display stand that this one came with, which is nice. So this part here, you unscrew the cap, and then you remove the batteries. Oh, there we go. Take that out entirely. Now the really cool thing is this whole proton pack is powered by 4D batteries. If you want the pack to actually work, you need to have those batteries. But one thing now that's cool, you took the batteries out of this. Now you can take this, you can line this up, and there are some little plug sections here that you literally just feed that in. And now you attach this, and it is now connected. And this will now actually be powered by the D batteries that are inside that, which is really cool. Then you can come around here, again, slide this on, lock that on into place. And now you have a truly fully assembled proton pack. I do not like the fact that they required a certain amount of backers in order to get that hose, because like I said, that hose is necessary to have. And I just feel like that was kind of like a waste of material. I don't know what else they could have given us. Maybe they could have given us, if they want to do the whole like 1984 thing, maybe they could have given us a tier unlock that would have given us a more 1984 inspired Neutrona wand, kind of like this guy. Now, like I said, I don't mind it all that much having this, because to me, I always looked at this as Egon had to upgrade this to be able to fight Gozer and all those extra kind of elements later on. And the fact that he was by himself, he had to really supercharge this. This is, for me, the story that I have created. But it makes sense in my mind. And he would have had to have upgraded this. And we know that this Neutrona wand has the elements from the Ghostbuster video game, which a lot of people consider canon to the whole franchise of Ghostbusters. So this would have had to have been upgraded and probably replaced. So for me, I'm going to take this out. Like I said, I'm going to display that on that display stand that this Neutrona one came with as a way of saying, you know what? If I'm being kind of like, this isn't going to work anymore, I'm going to detach it. I'm going to design a whole new one for obviously the Ghostbuster video game stuff. And then, of course, Afterlife. So I'm okay with that. I just think that that tiered unlock, like I said, it's kind of annoying, honestly. The next tier unlock came with these bits here, which is the Afterlife. I think they call it like the Afterlife tier or whatever. So you got, in addition to those little slime looking bits, now they have given you marshmallow colored ones. So you can, again, take this, drape it there, make it look like marshmallow is now covering the proton pack as opposed to slime. But in addition to that, which is really, and these are the exact same molded pieces. They are a rubbery material, but they don't have that translucent green. It's like this marshmallow look. But you also got these, and this is what I dropped. So I have to come around over here and pick them up. Now, these bits here, I absolutely love these. So a little bit ago, we got little tiny Ghost mini, not Ghost, but little mini Puff action figures as part of the Plasma series line. That line was fantastic. I never got the actual mini Puffs, though I never could find them. But what they did was they repainted them to give us these little guys. Let me make sure I get in the camera pretty decently here. So I'm looking at my watch. I apologize. But these are incredible. You can see amazing paint detail on here, making them look like they're toasted. And I love the facial expressions on them. Now they have a removable head, so you can pop that off if you want to. And it came with 3 additional heads. These heads also have some extra paint detail, which is cool. And then again, you put those on there, and now you can swap out the look for them. So you get 3 different ones with 3 different kind of paint details on them. Hopefully you can see that all real well. I mean, that is outstanding. I love how they did that. And then, like I said, you also do get 3 additional heads, so you can really kind of mix and match and change out the look for these guys. And if you had those original Puffs, you could put these on there. I just love that. So that's a real cool tier unlock, and they come in this really neat kind of ghost trap sort of box. So love that. That's really cool. But in addition to that, you also do get, these are kind of cool. You get some stickers. Again, I don't really know how I feel about these stickers because what are you going to do with these? I don't have a Trapper Keeper anymore. But you have an original 1984 Ghostbusters set with the guys. You got Gozer right there, the Ecto one. And then you have an Afterlife sheet, which is cool as well. But you also get this, which is one of the most special pieces in this entire thing. And that is this original, well, not original, but it is the Egon Spengler Journal. This is extremely well done. You flip through here, and it basically is Egon's notes going all the way through the original Ghostbusters and even going into Ghostbusters 2 with like the Scoleri brothers there. You have Vigo. A lot of really very cool stuff. Even when you get to the back here, nice little nod to the Afterlife and even how he kind of sets this up and how basically he's going through. And there's a lot of regrets that you can really see in there and how he feels bad because he separated from all of his friends and his family to really go on. And I don't want to get into too many of the spoilers of Afterlife, but to really go on and do what he did and had to do it alone. This is a great piece. I love this. This is one thing that I think that those tiered unlocks is really good for. That, the little mini Puffs, the marshmallow accessories, amazing. Super, super cool. But you do get one final tier unlock, which this one I like as well, and I think is really kind of appropriate for it. That being this display stand here. Now, as you can see, I have it upright, but this whole display stand comes in a few different pieces, and really helps to kind of be able to display this perfectly. And looks amazing. I don't know if people are going to be displaying this on the wall. I know I'm going to be displaying mine on the wall, but that whole display stand there really does help out a lot. And that was the final tier unlock, which again, makes sense. I can appreciate that as well. The only one I don't really like is that whole hose setup, which I think it's necessary to have. But now we come to the Proton Pack itself. And this is very much a work of art. The Hasbro team did a terrific job of taking the actual screen-used Proton Pack that they had from the Afterlife film to recreate this. Much like that amazing amount of detail that they put into the Neutrona Wand, they carried that over equally to the Proton Pack. Maybe even a little bit more. Now there is some assembly that's required. For example, this ion piece, right? I think that's what they call it. This is a absolute wonderful attention to detail. This section down here is all metal. This is plastic, and it just comes over here and it attaches just like so, which really helps to complete the look of it. But when you look throughout the entire thing, the amount of dirt, grime, wear, rust, scratch marks that are put in here, all are amazingly recreated. Now, he's never going to watch this video, but I want to give a shout out to Adam Savage, who posted a very in-depth video of kind of modifying this to make it look a little bit more realistic and aged. What I will say, though, is that you don't really need to do any of that, and I probably am not going to. But a lot of customizers more than likely will. One thing that he did a real great job of kind of highlighting how when he actually got to look at the screen use prop itself, he pointed out that some bits on here, and I don't remember exactly where, but he noticed some wear on it that the original HASLAB Proton Pack that he took a look at some time ago didn't have. And Hasbro actually went back and put those details in. So I gotta give huge credit to both Hasbro and Adam Savage for pointing those out, because it got us an even closer representation of how that Proton Pack looked. Now the other thing that I want to bring up is this back section here. I'm not going to step over. So these straps that you can see, as well as this frame, are not included in this. You do get straps, and I should bring those out here, but the straps that are originally part of it, sorry, I know I'm going off camera and people are like, what's happening, where's Optibotimus? So it does come with its own straps in a different, like, kidney sections and things like that. These attached and are attached on these little vents that are up here. I've taken these off because this was actually also designed to be functional with an Alice frame. I think it's a LC1 Alice frame specifically, but you can see one thing that's amazing, and this is where I was talking about the amount of detail that they paid attention. They knew that a lot of people would probably want to attach an Alice frame to this. And if you did, the Hasbro team actually included all of these brackets and screws to be able to attach the frame to the pack. That's amazing. That is going way above and beyond. Even to the point that when they included the screws, the nuts that the screws attach to are built in to the Proton Pack. So you didn't have to do any real modding to this to make this more accurate looking. That blows my mind. And yes, I'm going to put this on and you guys will see it. But I put that on there. I just wanted to point out that if you get yours will not have this Alice frame in these specific straps. But you still have those, which is great. And the rest of the detail on this is absolutely extraordinary. Even when you look at the little hose here. Now, a lot of people complain about the accuracy on this. It does have a slightly different color. Again, I'm not going to worry too much about it. I think it looks fine. The ribbon cable here is dirty. It's gross. It's textured. You can feel that. Even when you feel, I keep kind of like touching this, it's all molded to have this wear put in there, which is, again, extraordinary. The other thing that I love is that a lot of these hoses can detach. You can pull off different pieces like that. I'll put that back on there. Put that right there. So you can remove that. You can, let's see, this. You can play with all this stuff. And that's one thing that I love about it. The play feature in this and how you can really kind of detach a whole bunch of things and act as if you are working on the proton pack, which is, again, amazing. You can pull these little bits off all the way around. It has these little wire sections that act as if they're real functioning pieces that you can mess around with. I mean, that is absolutely amazing. One of the best parts as well is that they designed 2 play features in this. Well, I shouldn't say play features, but 2 versions of this. You can have, like I talked about with the different stickers, a 1984 look for it, or the more modern Ghostbusters Afterlife. And they actually designed this in a way where you can switch the way that it sounds and plays with, which is, again, incredible. I'll get to that in a second. But one bit that I absolutely love is this section right here. I think it's called like a shock piece or something. You can remove this, because we witnessed Phoebe actually putting this back together when she found her grandfather's secret laboratory of sorts. So you can do that. You can detach this. Come around here. This little bit right here. This can detach. I mean, guys, this is insane to me. These little hoses over here, you can also detach if you really wanted to. Pull those off, detach. Oh, that completely detached here. That needs to go back in there. So you can pull the whole hose off if you wanted to. This piece right here, oops, probably shouldn't have completely detached that, but this little bumper section can remove. And now you can open this up. And again, in terms of a play feature, these little bits here actually can remove, because she was missing 2, if you remember, and Egon had to show her where they were to put them on there. And you put them on, squeeze them back on. So the fact that you can play with that, again, extraordinarily that they built that into the entire thing. But setting this here to the side, you also have this piece right here where she was talking about how could you have created such a small cyclotron? And the joke is, oh, this little knob here has to rotate off. And the joke was that he's a genius. So she was able to kind of realize how smart her grandfather was. So you can drop that little nut, that's gone, and now you can actually remove the whole cyclotron. Now this is made out of plastic and it's fairly hollow. I do wish that this was a little bit more heavier and substantial, but look at the detail on that. I mean, that again, extraordinary paint job on that. Really very cool. And even when you come in, I'm going to kind of zoom in here as best as I can as I'm behind the camera. You can really see that detail on the inside here really carrying over with like the different wires and kind of copper tubing and things like that. But as I talked about, you have 2 different play features with this. You have the Afterlife sort of mode, but you also can have the 1984 Ghostbuster mode, and you got these little switches right up here that you can use to swap that. Now, in a second, I'm going to put this all back together. I'm going to show you how it sounds out of the box. And now for the moment that you've probably been waiting for. Me activating this guy. So, again, in the original 1984 film, we see that Ray's proton pack is activated inside that elevator. We don't ever actually see what switch is thrown to activate it. We just see Egon go over, hit something in the back, and then it powers up. And then Peter and Egon kind of stepping away from Ray. In the Afterlife film, though, we actually see Podcast go up and flip the switch when this is on the back of Phoebe. And we finally, now for the first time, see the switch. And it's right here, this beautiful red one with the paint that's all nice and worn. Let's do it. Here we go. Ready? And... I love it. I absolutely love it. You can see the little indicator going up that's nicely colored blue. You see the cyclotron rotating around. Now, like I talked about, in my mind, the story is that Egon had to do this by himself. He didn't have the 3 other Ghostbusters with him, so he really needed to make this a more powerful pack. So I feel like he enhanced the cyclotron, put a little bit more into it, which for me makes it kind of spin faster, because that's not originally how it looked. This is how it looked in Afterlife. One thing that's also nice, you got the sounds. This little knob right here, you can rotate this around, and it's a volume switch, so you no longer hear it. Now you do still, if you can listen closely, there's a humming noise that's in there. There's a small vibration. You can feel it vibrating. People have complained about that vibration, saying that it sounds like a cow. I don't think it sounds like a cow. That's a little bit ridiculous. But I'm not a big fan of the vibration, mostly because of the sound. But here's something that's cool. So now we're going to take this back apart, and I'm going to show you how to switch this to the 1984 thing. What's cool, again, we're going to detach some of these hoses here, just making some space to be able to pull everything out. This is what's amazing. So you have this hose. This ribbon cable comes down here and attaches via 2 little push clip things. Watch what happens when you detach this. You do that. That's amazing. And it just goes through this warning. And then there's like little magnetic sections here that when you clip everything, now, okay, so the sound's turned off. Now if I'm going to put it back on, again, you just kind of push those clips, and it powers it back up again. I'm geeking out here, guys. I'm geeking out. So again, now you don't have to technically take that off, but I'm going to do it just because. And then I love how the lights kind of do that little fade sort of thing. So holding this on here, I'm going to take this piece off. Set that there. Let's actually switch it off for the time being. Remove the little cover. Remove this whole back section. Now, like I said, you have a couple different options. You have a switch right here that when you switch it, you'll hear it change. You have another switch that actually turns off that rumble feature in there. And I'm going to turn that off as well. So you can leave the rumble feature on if you wanted to have it in the 1984 mode. I just don't. So again, switch that off just like that. Now, we're going to put this all back together again. And it connects, you can see like the little control panel or control bits right there. So put that there. Hold that there. Bring this guy into place. Go. Now slide this bit in all the way. Attach this. That holds everything into place very nicely. I'll get that out of the way. Oh yeah, I didn't have that all the way there. There we go. All right. Crank that on. Now all these other hoses do not need to be attached. You don't have to, but I'm going to put this back on just to kind of, again, give you that activation bit. There we go. That's on there nice and neat. Now, when we flip the switch, you're going to see the change. So now you can see the cyclotron going around slower. It's not as powerful as it was before, or as Egon needed it to be. You can still hear the sound for it. You can still adjust the sound. Turn that all the way down if you want to, or turn it all the way up. All of that is absolutely extraordinary that they included that in. And again, you can take this piece off, and you get that containment unit sound. I love that. You better get that plugged back in before, things get messy. There we go. All right. Fixed it. There we go. Absolutely stellar and incredible. But that's not it, guys. As amazing as this is, there's actually one other really cool aspect about it. I talked about this hose and how this hose is basically necessary because you need to connect it to the proton wand. This section right here is now, as I talked about, fully powered by the proton pack. Let's see. That being said, I still think you have to have it on to... Nope, you don't. Did you see what happened? I turned it off. It's off now. Now if we go through the startup procedure for this guy, that turns on. Now the sounds for the proton wand still come from this. You still have the rumble and the vibration in this as well. But again, now this is cool. Remember, this would overcharge and overheat. So I'm going to do that for you guys, just so you can see this. Just let it go, let it go. It's overcharging now. This turns down, turns off, and so does the proton pack itself. That is absolutely incredible. There is one part that I wish they could have done differently, and that would be when you have this, obviously I talked about how there is that little hidden feature about the video game aspect. So you can change this. There we go. So now you have the slime effect. And when you push the button, you have that. I really wish they could have changed the colors of these. Because when you watch that video game again, when you did have that with the slime effect, it changed the colors of that. Also with the ice section. Again, I wish they would have been able to change the color and also with the Hadron Collider. I think that's what it's called. And then again, you can turn it all off. Absolutely amazing that they have that in there. I don't particularly like this actual clip thing here is a little bit tricky to get on there. I mean, it sits on there fine, but it does get a little bit tricky to actually do it. But how amazing is that, guys? I'm honestly very much blown away by how cool this really is. So, and there's actually a lot that's still in here. I did watch a video that if you leave this on, and I'll let you guys do it yourself so that you can experience this for yourself. But there are some hidden Easter eggs in here with some of the sounds. And you'll hear some really cool ones that'll come up later on. So play with it, enjoy it, have fun with it. I am now going to put all this in here. I'm going to put it on for you guys. So I'm going to bring the camera back some so that you guys can really see it. You can see how full size it actually is. You can see the height of it. It has a solid weight to it as well. One thing that I also really like about this display stand, and it kind of reminds me of the resting area inside the Ecto-1. You can actually kind of display it in a couple different ways. There are grooves here, so if you wanted to have it sitting a little bit more angled, you just lift it up, and it's kind of hard to see. There we go. Put it there, so now it can be a little bit more on a backwards slant, but you also have this little middle section, so it's all sculpted in a way where you can do that. So that kind of looks, like I said, a little bit more like the Ecto-1 sort of thing, but here we go. We're going to detach this. I'm going to pick this up, and it is substantial. It is heavy, and I always hated this part of the job. Ugh. It's not easy to do. It's not easy to do, but I don't know how ridiculous I kind of look right now, but move my table out of the way. Got my little belt piece here. Let's put that around my fat self. It's my proton pack! I love it. Now, this is one thing that I never really anticipated being a problem, but here we go. Proton pack. Neutrino wand. Why aren't you working? What's happening? Oh, there we go. I didn't fully activate it. Ready, and... That's how we do it, boys and girls. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And turning it off. Super, super cool. The worst part is now... There's like no way I can do that. But one thing that I've discovered is that really makes sense why this is here. So you can like clip it to your belt buckle, your pants in this case. Here I can kind of show you this. So here's like what I was talking about, where you have two different groove sections. So you can have it more upright here if you put it in this groove section right there. That groove section here allows it to be a little bit more angled. They actually sculpted in a little divot right here, not on this side. The divot right there is for the hose area, so it kind of fits in there. And then you can see you got the middle section where it kind of sits in there. So this is... absolutely amazing. I'm sitting here with a proton pack on my back right now. I don't even know what to say. It is incredible. It is absolutely incredible to really be able to have this, to enjoy it, to be 44 years old, and to have a proton pack for the first time in my life. I know a lot of people have... Oh no. Oh, what just happened here? That's not good. Oh, I'm going to have to fix that. The little thing came undone. Don't know why that is. But this is a super, super fun piece. And not everybody was able to get it. If you wanted it, you were not going to be stopped in terms of getting it. This just is easily one of the coolest things. This does get a little bit tricky. Like I feel like if I change anything, it might be that little clip thing right there. I cannot tell you how amazed I am at this. It really is a lifelong dream to finally be able to have one of these and have it be as well done as it actually is. The Hasbro team did an amazing job in this. I cannot thank them enough for making this possible for people like me. It really is something that I've wanted my entire life. And here it is. So there you go, guys. There's my look at the new Hasbro Pulse HasLab exclusive Ghostbusters Afterlife SPENGLER'S Proton Pack. Well worth the money. $400. Getting all the tiers, even the extra one with the slime effect. Getting that just makes this such an incredible value. Oh, now it's going to turn back off. That $400, in my opinion, is a steal for this. It really, really is. And I can easily see this now exploding in value, going up beyond that $1,000 price. So easily doubling its value. And This is one of those pieces that I don't want to say never, because never is a very long time, but I can honestly see myself never selling this. This is part of my home. This is part of my collection. This is part of my childhood come to life, and it's every bit worth it. It absolutely is. So again, thank you everybody who watched this video. It's a very long video. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Huge shout out to all of my Optibotimus Plus channel members who, through their direct support, helped to make getting something like this possible. Also, all of you that watch my videos, if you're not able to be a channel member, you guys help support by watching, liking, commenting, sharing, all of that stuff. It all adds up, and it is all very, very much appreciated. So until next time, guys, this has been Optibotimus saying adios, au revoir, and auf Wiedersehen. And from now on, I ain't afraid of no ghosts.